Hello and welcome to Loose Women with Michael Dwyer and Mark Halpin. Today is we're doing Paper Tuesdays. Michael, our topic today.
Politics.
Politics gone wrong, more so. I think we're looking at. So politics have gone right in your case?
Have they?
Well,
that I work in politics.
Or left.
Or left. Oh.
No. Well, it's your job. Politics.
It is my job. Yeah. Job even. Yeah. Before we get into this, Mark, this is our last big pull, big sell. Sell.
Having a big pull here, lads.
Join in, guys, this Friday. Gory Little Theatre, 8 p.m. Get your tickets from papertuesdays.com and look in the bio. Link, yeah, absolutely. Paddy Blues. And we've Basil, we've Spike, and we've Shane Byrne. And
Fab and Flood,
yes.
And
it's
ourselves,
happening.
And videos.
Yeah.
There will be cameos from local celebrities within our VT screenings as well.
There will. We can guarantee this. So you just have to do it. So now that we've got that out of the way and you've bought your tickets from papertuesdays.com, let's talk about politics. Yes, politics has gone right. Politics is done right, I think, Mark, when it serves the people.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what is the reason for politics?
Maybe the state. What is the reason for the state?
What is the state?
I think the state is a basic function of services that if people fall in hard times, and the state, we have this left-leaning notion of maybe from social democracy arising from World War II, that the state should step in and support the less well-off through welfare and through social housing and through healthcare. And we have this positive notion of what the state can do and should do.
And is that realistic, Mr. Dwyer?
Mr. Dwyer. You put the question to me.
I put the question through the chair.
Is it realistic? I think it becomes ever expanding. So everyone but look, everyone has a need or sees that, so-and-so should have a medical card and so-and-so should have this, and then it's just, but it all comes from a good place. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, the idea of a state is a nice one. Is there any governments without a state, without a government? Is there any countries without a government?
Well, that's a good question for Google, isn't it? But we're coming at this from a very broad angle. When we were going at Russia. We were going to call out Russia for what they're doing in the Ukraine. You found the link courtesy of your brother Michael.
Okay, yeah, that's where we were going with this. So, are we calling out Russia, or is it just an interesting thing that has happened? Kind of like we were talking about on the Patreon with prophecies, if you will. Oh, no, I get what you mean, yeah. So this is the plan of Russia.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. So this book was it was publicized in 1997. The Foundations of Geopolitics, The Geopolitical Future of Russia is a geopolitical book by Alexander Dugin. Its publication in 1997 was well received in Russia. It has had significant influence within the Russian military, police and foreign policy elites, and has been used as a textbook in the Academy of the General Staff of the Russian military. Powerful Russian figures subsequently took an interest in Dugin, a Russian political analyst who espouses an ultra-nationalist and neo-fascist ideology based on the idea of neo-Eurasianism, who has developed a close relationship with Russia's academy and general staff. So in the content of this book, the book states that the maximum task is the Finlandization of all of Europe. So Finlandization is in quotes. This is a term they've come up with. So in Europe, this is the plan. So go on.
No, I just want to delve into this. What do you think Finlandization means?
Finlandization, I honestly, I can click into the link here. What I would think that it means is to go very far left, as some of the, what's that area called? Norway, Finland?
Nordic?
The Nordic,
what's it?
I know there is a word for it,
okay.
But they've gone very left-leaning. And I think that Russia's plan, what they're saying here, is to get them to go so far left that there's no coming back. Because to go too far on either side of the scale isn't good, I don't think. You can't, not everything is black and white.
I think there's a blurred line there as well, in that Finland is Russia. We have relied on Russia a lot for energy. and
Yeah.
we've just thought that it's fine, or and we just go ahead with it. But now it's become a bit of a problem.
Yeah, the petrol has gone up, the diesel.
Well, but like we're still getting gas from Russia because we don't have gas supplies of our own in Europe.
Yeah.
So I think there's more to, like, not only get Europe to move left, get Europe to realize, get Europe to have a reliance on Russia that it doesn't even understand or know
how to
or
be self-sufficient without Russia.
Yeah, or understand that it might need to be self-sufficient.
Yes. So here's the manifesto from the book. So in Europe, Germany should be offered the de facto political dominance over most Protestant and Catholic states located within Central and Eastern Europe. Kaliningrad Oblast should be given back to Germany. This book uses the term Moscow-Berlin axis. France should be encouraged to form a bloc with Germany as they have a firm anti-Atlanticist tradition. The United Kingdom, merely described as an extraterrestrial floating base of the US, should be cut off from Europe. So this book was written in 1997, and Brexit happened, 3 years ago? So this is in the manifesto for Russia. Brexit was in 1997. Finland should be absorbed into Russia. Southern Finland will be combined with the Republic of Karelia, and Northern Finland will be donated to the Murmansk Oblast. Do you know what oblasts are?
No.
I assume there's some form of Russian area. Estonia should be given to Germany's sphere of influence. Latvia and Lithuania should be given a special status in the Eurasian Russian sphere, although he later writes that they should be integrated into Russia. Belarus and Moldova are to become part of Russia. Poland should be granted a special status in the Eurasian sphere. Romania, North Macedonia, Serbia, Serbian Bosnia, and Greece, Orthodox collectivist East, will unite with Moscow, the Third Rome, and reject the rational individualistic West. Ukraine should be annexed by Russia because Ukraine as a state has no geopolitical meaning, no particular cultural import or universal significance, no geographic uniqueness, no ethnic exclusiveness. Its certain territorial ambitions represent an enormous danger for all of Eurasia, and without resolving the Ukrainian problem, it is in general senseless to speak about continental politics. Ukraine should not be allowed to remain independent unless it is cordon sanitaire, which would be inadmissible. So there you go. That's a large part of why this has kind of come up now, is Brexit and what is happening in the Ukraine now. So it goes on then, they have more plans for the Middle East and Central Asia. So there was an interesting part here about Turkey. Russia needs to create geopolitical shocks within Turkey. These can be achieved by employing Kurds, Armenians, and other minorities. So that's currently happening, isn't it? In Turkey, there is war, I'm almost certain.
Really? I haven't looked into it.
Yeah.
And it comments on Russia or the US as well.
The US, so this is another big one. In the United States, Russia should use its special services within the borders of the United States to fuel instability and separatism. For instance, provoke Afro-American racists. Russia should introduce geopolitical disorder into internal American activity, encouraging all kinds of separatism and ethnic, social, and racial conflicts, actively supporting all dissident movements, extremist, racist, and sectarian groups, thus destabilizing internal political processes in the US. It would also make sense simultaneously to support isolationist tendencies in American politics. So that is currently happening to a major scale. I don't think America has ever been more divided than it is now.
Yeah.
That's all this predicted, or not predicted, but like planned out in a Russian manifesto by someone who is very close to the top of the hierarchy in Russia and is influencing them. And these things seem to be playing out of their own accord.
Yeah. It's envisaged, isn't it? Like it's almost like a dream for this for this reality to emerge.
Yeah.
Like it has. But it's a bit foreign to us, like how like we just I don't think we really care enough. Like, would you ever wake up in the morning, Mark, and say that a country has no identity of its own and it needs to be just demolished?
No.
You know, like, it is to us, it seems a perverse view of the world that, like, we have to get rid of or annihilate an entire country, is it?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not, I don't think the plan is to annihilate them for the sake of annihilation. I think it's the expansion of Russia. It's the globalization of Russia.
Yeah.
Or the protection of Russia, of that country. Which we can't really well, maybe to an extent with our history here with Britain, but not to the extent that Ireland is going to wants global dominance or to be one of the largest leaders of political power in the world. So I suppose it's not the same for us, and we don't have the propaganda. We haven't grown up with that here.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, I don't get that. How could anyone ever think that? But we haven't been in that situation.
Yeah. Where do you think this lead, or where is this, or what do you think? After reading that, do you think you have a better understanding of where Russia's coming from or what Russia's doing? Or?
No, not really.
No.
I don't understand the why, I suppose.
Okay.
But I see that there is could be something, a greater master plan playing out across cultures, across the world, than we think is just pure circumstance, or happenstance, I suppose would be the word.
Happenstance. What a great word, Mark. Well done.
Didn't they think I'd make a mistake?
Well, you were wrong. Or they were wrong.
They were wrong.
Very good, very good. So politics...
Where in your view has politics gone wrong? Do you have any circumstances?
Well, my whole big thing that I was going to say, Mark, was that politics is never going to be perfect.
No.
We are not, in our lifetime, Mark, there is going to be a leader that comes along and we say, yes, thank God we found him or her.
That's what they're doing with Zelensky at the minute, aren't they?
Zelensky, yeah. They are, I suppose.
I seen a meme of him the other day, and it was all the Marvel figures lined up in a hallway, and he was like walking through. He was getting, what's it called when Guard of Honor from all the Marvel superheroes.
Right.
And Zelensky is like the leader of the superheroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't get that now. Well,
so it's like they're making Zelensky out to be a superhero.
Yeah. As in, but was this organised by Marvel?
I don't know if it was organised or just some loser in his basement.
Oh, like it was a video, a meme.
Yeah, it was like a picture.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It wasn't real. Like it wasn't actual. Right. The Hulk wasn't really there.
But like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like he's talking to parliaments everywhere and all that. Like,
sure. Who was it? Amy Schumer wanted him on the Oscars.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has better things to be doing at the minute.
Yeah. Like. I know. Like, fair play to him, but like he's a human being. Like I think, and the media loves this as well. It loves not to. Yeah, it does love. It loves like, oh, look at him, he's just great, and just like, oh, look at how, like, there's articles going around about his green shirt as a symbol of defiance for the world, that the world needs, and this sort of thing. It's just a shirt, man. Yeah,
people love to paint pictures of their own ideas, don't they?
And sure, look, we do. That's what we do, but like, it just seems that I don't buy it anyway. But sorry, you asked, why has politics gone wrong? I think,
or where has politics gone wrong, in your opinion?
Okay.
Can you think of an instance?
I think coziness with power. I think that's what has led. I'm going to really bolster my credibility here, Mark. I'm going to nod to.
You looked at me over your glasses there, and I thought that was good. We're in for a treat.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Like, he initially went mad because of George Bush. And we associate, this was on Joe Rogan credited him with this, that like people thought this is a mad right-wing fella, but really he just is so obsessed with pointing out wrongdoing and something that just doesn't seem right.
Yes.
Do you agree?
I agree, yeah. That's his whole thing.
Yeah. Like, so what was it that he wasn't happy with Bush? Just the coziness of politics. Politics, there's a fine line between collaboration and coziness. And I think that we need to open up more. And when we open up more, then we discover that, like what Naval Ravikant says, the first politician that agrees to wear a camera on their head 24 hours a day to show their transparency, their accountability, will do very, very well.
Yeah. Yes.
Because no one actually knows what happens. We just get this whole thing and, a veneer.
A veneer, yes. It's also, politics can become a power game as well, isn't it? Like there's a lot of leverage that people use that might not be totally ethical. So finding out information on people, using that against them, blackmailing, I'm sure, is big in politics.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I have something on you, so now I need to get this job, or this will come out about you and you will lose your job altogether. And there's these status games going on constantly.
Yeah, the layers. But I think this might be the elephant in the room, Mark. Politics can be quite boring.
Yes, for the large part. So that's why when there is a scandal, everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, no, go on. Politics
No,
is
I
boring.
just mean like you only, politics is only interesting for you, I think, when there is a big thing. So like politics, there's only a certain amount of people, and maybe there should, like, politics is not always exciting.
No.
Politics is not always filled with the drama and the, like,
It's
so,
going to funerals and eating buns and shaking hands,
yeah,
putting up posters.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Housing. Where's my house? Imagine listening to that all day. That's what you do. Where's my house?
But sorry, I might have to take that out, Shane, if that's okay. So because anyway, politics, yeah, but it's boring because not only like there's humdrum of it, but like you're not going to, Rock's report isn't going to excite you. You're not going to get up in the middle of the night and know what stage the third motion of the third,
Yeah.
So that's where, but I'm not saying that's your fault. I'm saying, I don't know how, if politics is to be exciting again, it has to be more than a TikTok. It has to be more than, but it also has to be more than what it is in its current form of, just taking place in no one actually knows what piece of legislation, and maybe it's only a minor legislative change, and yet it takes up so much energy in our legislative process. So I'm talking in big. I'm not really going into specifics, but I think that we're seeing more of a TikTok view of politics. Has to be short, snappy, like maybe a response that just captures how people are feeling. And sure, look, maybe that's the way, because politics is meant to capture how people are feeling. So I've just come around and contradict myself right at the end there.
Very good. Well, that's kind of come from Trump as well, hasn't it? The whole making a show of it. Like, it's the politics in America is like fucking, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Like, it's people want to watch to see what he's going to say next, what's going to happen, who's he going to outrage, who's he going to insult. What's going to happen here, and then people's emotions get involved. He plays on the emotions, so then it become either so really far left or really far right, and then it becomes like this conflict, and that's interesting to watch.
Yes,
but it's not good for the overall state of affairs. It's not good for peace within a country. Like, I don't give it. When was the last time I heard about the voting in Italy or somewhere? Like, because that's just all it is. It's looking after the government. It's not fucking the Redskins versus the fucking Seahawks or something, like, Well,
it's funny you bring up Trump, and how you mentioned earlier about the layers and the power games that are going on. When Trump got in, that meant the lobbyists that had kind of been established there in Washington for like 20 years, Trump was not going to listen to them anymore.
No.
So, but what all it meant was that access to the president became the new lobbyists, So if Trump would listen to people he knew or whatever, so all you had to do then was try and get to the people that Trump would be speaking with, So just, it kind of changed up, shook it up a little bit.
Leeches, fucking vermin. And Trump is the believed leader of QAnon.
What?
People believe Trump is Q, so QAnon is...
Oh, yeah.
Q is a person who has high level of information access in the CIA and the FBI, and he's leaking this in Q drops. You have the door. In Q drops, so he drops information every now and again in like 4chan or some of these sites or forums online, and it could be like about the lizard people that are running the economy. It could be about international pedophile rings, which actually do exist. As we know, with Jeffrey and Ghislaine I went to trial recently.
Did she?
Yeah, I think she was found
What's she going to get?
guilty. I'm not sure. We may have looked that up. Yeah, you can look that up.
Yeah.
For a second.
So
yeah, so what they believe is that a lot of QAnon people believe Trump is Q, or Trump was Q, and he had all this information, and that's like this big noble thing that Trump is doing, and that's why the QAnon supporters are so in favor of Trump, and that's why they stormed the Capitol when Trump was impeached.
Right. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned actually that, excuse me, she's still in the news, all right, but she's not, oh yeah, they refused a retrial, so there's not going to be a retrial. They were trying to get a retrial because one of the jurors had suffered from sexual abuse, so they were saying that this biased their view or whatever, but anyway, the judge struck it out. You mentioned on the way up to going to Tim Dillon how QAnon, one of the first things that they released was that aliens exist. Shout out to Lazy Gold, who have a song called Aliens Exist. Yeah. But is that the case?
I think so. I think no, maybe not. I don't think that was it. It was.
Oh, sorry, maybe I misinterpreted.
I think it was the
lizard people.
Ghislaine. I think it could have been the Epstein ring. I'm not sure, but Q. So what then? Another thing that was sent to me by Michael was a post on Reddit.
Oh, yeah.
From a subreddit called QAnon Casualties, which is a subreddit for people whose family members have been lost to QAnon. Now, QAnon, these people are, Tim Dillon described QAnon members as some people who, people with undiagnosed mental illnesses and some diagnosed. So there are, a lot of these people are insane. Most of them, probably all of them, all of the QAnon followers are a little bit off. So this is titled, this post, "I survived the Stoneman Douglas school shooting and my dad is suddenly convinced I'm a liar and part of a false flag operation." So there's a few edits here to start. So he posted it and had to go back and add some things to it. So important clarifications below because, well, I didn't expect this to go viral. "I proved my identity, like Vice clearly said, so fuck you if you think I wrote this because I think it's fucking funny. ID was required and non-negotiable, and they made sure to confirm before asking me a single question. I know it's not the majority, but anyone accusing me of faking trauma to spin a story is a fucking idiot. This was literally just a quick rant that I thought at most would reach 100 upvotes. I never contacted the media, and I obviously didn't plan or think it'd go viral. This is really fucking important to me because I wouldn't wish that what happened on anyone. I'd never make light of it, and you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You watch the interrogation footage and he just seems like a brain-dead moron who's too fucking stupid to know what's going on. He is, but there's also a literal fucking demon in my house, and there's nothing funny about it. There's a lot of people don't think that it happened that day, so anyone thinking I minimize that by making a joke of it can fuck off straight to hell. Go through the sub and you'll see what QAnon is capable of doing to people. They're delusional people trapped in a cult. There are literally anti-vax nurses. Brainwash is real, and even family members aren't immune to that. But I know my situation is fucking weird, and I really don't know what's going on with my dad. I'm trying to make sense of it all, but all I know is he's never been the same since the shooting. As for why this is a throwaway account, I'm not trying to get doxxed. Crazy I even have to explain that." So here's the original post. "Sorry if this is long, but I gotta get it off my chest. I think my dad has gone fucking insane. It's going way too far, and I've had trouble processing the past 5 months. He's always been very conservative, but now QAnon has consumed his life to the point where it's tearing our family apart, along with my mental health. Back in January, he saw the video of Major E. Taylor Greene harassing David Hogg, another student, about the shooting being a false flag operation. And while my dad was already into Q, he'd never gone down that particular rabbit hole, and now he's convinced that everything was a hoax, and it breaks my heart. He's done extensive research on body language and claims he can tell the shooter is a radical," so extensive research is in quotation marks there, "is a radical commie actor who was paid to sacrifice his life in order to remove our guns. He's questioning why they released the interrogation footage, if not to further deceive the, in quotes, sheep believing everything they see, end quote. He also says the trial will be rigged, and the reason they're talking about the death penalty is to prevent him from ever talking, just in case. Even burgundy-coloured t-shirts, in brackets what he wore, makes me uncomfortable, and he used to be so understanding he stopped wearing it around me. That person is completely gone, and I miss him so much. In quotes, you're a real piece of work to be able to sit here and act like nothing ever happened as if it wasn't a hoax. Shame on you for being part of it and putting your family through it too," end quote. He'll say stuff like that straight to my face whenever he's drinking, and I wonder if he'd ever say it if he knows what it does to me. It's bringing back so much of my survivor's guilt, and I hate him for it. I worked on it for so long, and now I once again feel like the biggest piece of shit for being able to have good days even when there are parents still grieving. I can't take much more of him berating me and purposely trying to trigger me to see if my PTSD is real or not. He's seen me break down and cry my eyes out multiple times, which I never ever did before. Sometimes I wonder if he's hit his head or had a fucking stroke, because I almost can't believe that it's the same person. What the fuck is QAnon doing to people? What's really fucked is that he knows I never want to hear about him or see his face ever again. I've been really clear on that, and I always leave the room when he starts talking about it. I keep telling him to please stop, but there's no reaction or empathy. I practically beg my mom to give my dad an ultimatum to get professional help or move out. She's really timid and hates confrontation, so all she said was to try not being at home as much and wait it out. I have no idea how to deal with this. It's too painful for me to keep living like this, hearing his name almost every single day and being accused of accepting money to be part of it. Even if my dad magically snapped out of this and his QAnon bullshit, I don't think I'd ever forgive him for putting me through this when I was just recently starting to do relatively well. So fuck him for that, and fuck QAnon and Major E. Taylor Greene for ruining my dad. Edit. Even though I definitely feel like I don't think getting physical would do any good. Even though I've definitely felt like it, I don't think getting physical would do any good at all. I instead try to remind him to look back at the text I sent when I was 100% sure the shooter was about to enter our classroom. I ask him to look me in the eyes and still argue I'm able to fake what I wrote in those messages, but no luck. So that was a nice little light-hearted article about QAnon and what it can do to people.
Tearing families apart, yeah. It was funny, when I searched for QAnon and aliens or something, it's similarly a BBC article here now. I haven't really looked at this, but basically this woman, Nicola, her mother started saying that Beyonce and Ellen DeGeneres harvest children's blood for youth and energy. That's when she knew she was in a death cult. So someone else thinks there's a government tracker on the vaccine, and then the attack on Capitol Hill, and then best friends lost. So this QAnon really has torn people apart, hasn't it?
I've heard about the trackers and the vaccines personally from people who think it's real.
Did you meet someone in the sauna who told you this?
No,
I thought you did. Sorry.
No,
who told
else.
you?
We won't reveal on the podcast who it was.
Big namaste.
Big namaste. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did someone tell me in the sauna?
I don't know. It just seems like sauna talk.
Yeah.
It just seems like someone could come over and say within 30 seconds, yeah, there's a vaccine tracker in there.
That should be a podcast, sauna talk.
Sauna talk. Yeah, that's a good one. I met a good fella in the sauna there lately, though. Shout out to him. He works in Delgany Pro Shop. I do like when people open up in the sauna.
They do, don't they? People love talking in the sauna, probably because it passes the time quicker.
Probably does.
You're not just sitting there in the heat.
And what do you do, Mark, in the sauna?
I had a fella in the sauna. Sorry for interrupting.
No.
There was a lad in the sauna in Arklow once, and he told me he was Iraqi military.
Wow.
And he escaped. He was in it for 18 years. He was showing me bullet wounds in his arse and his leg. And he told me he escaped and went to America. And he became bodyguards for celebrities. He said he was very good friends with, could have been Will Smith, Puff Daddy, Boys to Men. And he's saying he used to go out partying and drinking with the Boys to Men lads. Right. And he said he has a lot of secrets on people in Hollywood.
Okay.
That he could be killed if he ever revealed. And he wouldn't tell me, obviously. So that was...
And what brought him to Arklow?
Love, I think.
Oh.
So now he lives in Arklow instead of with Will Smith in Hollywood.
Oh, very good.
So there you go.
Great.
Now I didn't vet any of this information, so it might not be true.
Oh, but it's a good story.
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
It's nice to pretend.
That is, yeah. Sure, isn't that... Life is an illusion. Reality is an illusion. So politics, we can go on whatever way, but we talked about politics a lot there, Mark. Is there anything else on politics that you want to share, get off your chest?
Get off my chest. So you were a member of underage politics. You played minor for Fianna Fáil.
I always kind of danced.
is that real, or is it like go-karts compared to real driving? Is it like there were no ham and cheese sandwiches in the canteen today?
To be honest, it's still very real, yeah.
Ogre Fianna Fáil, very real.
Like, as in, it translates. As in, if you were active in the Ogre Fianna Fáil, you can bet your bottom dollar that person's going to be very active in Fianna Fáil.
Really? As we can see with our peace officer, thank you very much, sir, who is he went from Fianna Fáil Ogre, obviously, and got a role out of that.
Yeah.
James was also in Ogre Fianna Fáil. Now, were the two of you on the front lines, battling the blue shirts?
No.
I said it, it's okay.
Yeah, no, but still. But I wasn't that particularly active. Like, I was a social member, and I got a proclamation of Kevin Barry coming in. But I think
Kevin Barry, the magician?
Keith Barry. The patriot who died for Ireland. And, sorry, anyway. I don't know why I put the guilt on you there. But
that's the Fianna Fáil came back.
Yeah.
And you, sir.
How dare you?
Magician. He's a mentalist, not a magician, sir.
But I think I treated GA as my politics.
Right. So you will pass the ball to that man over there. He hasn't had the ball in 4 minutes.
Yeah, but I was always on these committees, and I was up in Dublin at Crow Park at a committee, and there was...
You were the pro of Gorey at a young age?
Pro Gorey, yeah. I handed that over to Aoife Parle a few years ago, yeah. Actually, politics, I'd say, because it's power and because you think you're important or something, it changes you a little.
Does it?
When I gave up pro, Mark, for like a few weeks, I felt like, well, what am I?
Really?
Yeah.
The PRO. So that's a public relations officer. So you were talking to the press when scandals came out.
Well, there was never any scandals like that. I wasn't pro for any COVID shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not that we had, but anyway. No, to be honest, the chairman, Nicky Stafford, God rest him, he was great at that. He just talked to the people. But no, like, he'd be on committees for health and wellbeing initiatives. And actually, Owen Conroy said it best when he said, when we lived together in Meadowgate, he said to someone, you know, the way in school Michael was involved in like all the bullshit jokes that like they were there, but like Michael was there and he was, you know, he wanted to be involved with, like, he just keeps doing that. Right? And it was only the pandemic stopped that, and I was like, I can have a life without going to committee meetings.
Yeah.
And it opened up my eyes a little. So I don't know where this is going. Oh yeah, politics, how it can be tied to identity, and how, you know, that's why if you're in Ogre Fianna Fáil, that is you, and you want to keep going there. You want to be the man.
Yeah.
Or the woman.
Woman, yeah. Or whatever you want to be.
I love how you kind of refer to Owen Conroy as he was a poet. It's like, Owen Conroy put it best. Philosopher Owen Conroy.
Himself and William Butler, yeah. Oh, that's very good.
So, like, what is the most meaningless committee you've been a part of?
Oh, what a fantastic question. What a fantastic question. We're going to just have to sit with this now and pause. Let's go through them.
Build a bank.
Build a bank. That was great. Crack though. I loved it. Such a notion.
And what was your role in the bank?
I was manager.
You were the manager?
I had the power.
Really? And who was the ATM?
Oh, we had a team of 6 and I tried to put fire in their bellies, but I'd say now I put a more than a damn tissue on them. But anyway, yeah, but it was great crack. And yeah,
TY must have had some fairly...
Young Social Innovators, that was a great one. I loved that one. Oh,
yes! What happened in that? I forgot about that. YSI. For our YSI project, guys, we're going to be climbing Tara Hill. Why?
Why?
YSI. And what did you innovate socially?
we had a mental health project. In fairness, Eugene Kavanagh led the trailblaze there with Dava Hollingsworth, I think, and other women as well, and Sinead O'Brien. But I kind of just rode in with them. But they did this Project Smile, and
yes, all this
joy.
is burned into my subconscious. I remember these phrases: YSI, Project Smile. What was Project
great.
Smile?
Project Smile was the project. It was a positive mental health campaign, and the thing with YSI is you don't actually have to go out and change anything. You just have to raise awareness of sorts.
Right.
So they liked the Smile in the Square days or something. So that was just cracking the quad at lunchtime, and we take it for granted. But that was actually
what happened.
So I think they sold cookies or face painting or music or something. Just a bit of creativity and buzz. But the real bonus of it was the Jump for Joy campaign. So Jim French.
I remember this phrase.
This is like a Reddit post for you to you let it out.
It's all coming back to me. Yeah. So French's.
Yeah, Jim French did Jump for Joy, and this is where we got local just characters, local gory people, and got them to get a picture of them jumping for joy.
Right.
So we got Jim French, even though he regularly has although I take this back, Shane got a beautiful photo of him. I'm sure he'll intersperse it now in this YouTube video with incredible pizzazz and sexiness, as he always does.
Yeah.
But yes, indeed. So yeah, Jim French, great photo. So normally you wouldn't have a smile. Jump for Joy, big smile from Jim French. And we had a big exhibition in the library. And again, I'm not taking any credit for this. Other people did great work for this. They got paper airplanes, or got hundreds of students to write down something that a positive memory, a negative memory, and something to remember about themselves or something like that. So 3 things. Then put them on make them into a paper airplane, and then made these paper airplane lines that lined the roof of the library, and it looked really impressive. And it was a very artistic expression that we let these go.
And was this just in transition year? Very good.
So yeah, I enjoyed that committee. What other committees were there? I suppose the peace one it didn't really work out.
No, there wasn't much peace there. Who else was on the peace committee?
Well, when it was in Gorey, it was just this woman, and she was peace.
She was
Rosebery.
Peace. Yes, I remember her. And we all held hands outside.
That's right.
Can't
we
do
released
that now.
gloves.
COVID.
Can't hold that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
What was the point in that? What was the point, Michael?
But was it to make, at the time I thought it was to make the message that the idea of Mahatma Gandhi, peace begins with me.
Right.
That if I'm at peace, the world will be at peace.
Right.
But it was all very well when there wasn't a world war going on.
Yeah. But to the majority of the people, and not just the peace lady, going outside and holding hands was just in the name of peace, we're going outside and holding hands. I get off class for 10 minutes to do this, and that's it. I didn't get any great philosophical insight from the World Peace Day.
Did you get any insights from school in general, though?
No. I did, yeah, sure. It was grand.
It was grand.
I had to do it. A necessary evil, I suppose, school was.
Were there any moments, right? So no, I'm not poking fun at you here. No, what I mean is you didn't get anything from those 10 minutes outside.
No.
But what I'm trying to say is, were there moments in school that you actually did gain from it?
Oh, I'm sure there were a lot, yeah. In terms of education or in terms of
understanding, life development, personal development?
No. There's I don't think anyone gets much life understanding or personal development before they're 22. I don't think in your teenage years you fully understand. There's just a lot of mistakes and falling over yourself up until you're a certain age. But I don't think... No, I just kind of went to school and played sport and went every day and then came home and that was it. But I wasn't looking for it. So I suppose by you being in these committees and things like that, you were looking for something more. And perhaps those people found that.
Yeah. These are big questions. But I definitely became attracted to the idea of busyness. But like, I didn't have as positive mental health in primary school, and getting involved in all these things in secondary school was a platform to a world that I didn't know existed, and that's I mean that with the most sincere of hearts. But are you have you never been happier right now? You're on the cusp of fatherhood. Like, your happiness. Like, well, of course you're going to have to say that you've never been happier right now. But like, it's not linear, I know, but I have to say I could not be happier now where I am in the world. And I know that this is at a time in late 20s where like youth is passing, but it's going to pass anyway. But I don't want to be 14 or 15 or 16 again.
No.
I
love the way your hands are going like this. In very good. The motion was the rhythm. The rhythm. You were in tune. Yeah, no, I'm the same. I don't think I've been happier than I am now. I think it's a good age to be at. There's still opportunity ahead, but there's lessons behind. You're kind of, more or less who you are at this age, but there's still a lot to go ahead. You have a lot of things behind you. You're kind of building forward in your life at this kind of age, but you've already laid some foundations. So I think it's a nice stage to be at. I think I've had time to be here and be alive and have my life for a while to understand a little bit about myself. So yeah, whereas when you're younger, you're still finding out, you don't really know who you are. It's very confusing. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I listen to this person? Do I listen to that person? Do I listen to myself? Can I trust myself to listen to myself? And then when you get to this stage, it's kind of nicer and people kind of show you a bit more respect. People value your opinion a bit more the older you get. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, we dismiss younger people. Like if an 18-year-old tried to tell me something about my life or what I'm doing wrong, I just brush it off, basically. And it's not that I don't like that person or anything like that. I just think, look, you don't really know. You can't. You wouldn't be that way.
No, I have an idea here and I'm going to go with it anyway, even though it's close to your bone. I don't think I've ever spoken to Quiva Brown, but I think she's an incredibly intelligent young woman.
True, yeah.
And I think that anything she told me, I would sit up and listen.
Yeah, probably.
And just for you, she's 12, 13.
Yeah. Turning 13.
Yeah, I find that freaky. Like, there's shout out to Colette Kinsella. Her daughter Pippa, she could run this country, Mark.
Right.
And she's 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she has this. I honestly, but then she couldn't run the country because there's so much red tape. Anyway, she's very, very, very.
She could run the Ogre country. The younger country.
It's all interspersed, isn't it?
Yeah.
If she runs Ogre well, she'll run the country well.
Yeah, we should have a country for younger people. The Isle of Man or something.
Oh, I think actually there's an idea. Like, TY should have an island. Like, and they spend the year in the island. Like, call it one of the Aran Islands. We just give it to TYs. There'll be some parties and everything. And although underage children wouldn't be great.
No, we've had that before. An island full of underage children, 16-year-olds. We were just talking about Jeffrey and Ghislaine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you planning on running this island, Michael? I'm sure that Jeffrey said we should have an island full of 16-year-olds.
This right here, this is Paper Tuesday.
This is Paper Tuesday.
This is it. In the messiness of it, the clumsiness and the crack of it all.
Yes, and that's why you should buy your tickets for next. I'm after moving 5 times and Shanky's moving the camera. Your tickets for next Friday night.
Yes, yeah. Do you know? Sorry, how are we on time? Have we another few minutes?
We're not too bad. Yeah, a few more minutes.
Well, just on this, I think we are going to be freer on Friday night.
Yeah. Than the last show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking back and we were talking, and at the time that we were talking, we didn't know what anyone in the black was thinking.
Yeah.
We were just doing what we normally do. And then it was only afterwards then, well, you didn't get the full taste because you couldn't go out, but like, and everyone was saying that surpassed my expectations so much. And like, well, if we know that what we do surpasses expectations, I think we'll be freer and more willing to give less of a fuck, to quote Marc and Manson.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to this more than the last one. Now, I was looking forward to the last one, but I was also more nervous, thinking would it go well. But now I'm kind of a little bit more the opposite. Now, there are some still things we still need to tie up a week before the show. But yeah, look, it is probably going to go well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can say that. Yeah. Well, like, we have the looseness and the freedom of our two combos. We've Niall and Gary.
Yeah.
Basil and Spike, the boxers. And then we've obviously Flood and Fab. And we've kind of a raucous sense and a good head of hair as well. Shane Burns to go in between the two pairs. So, yeah. Yes. Mark, it's great to have you here.
It's great in my house.
Well, I've decided that I own this.
This is your couch, yeah. Well, I'm not going to live here as of next week, so...
Oh, big changes.
Big move. Yeah, there'll be changes. Change of scenery for the cameras.
Yeah. Such a raw conversation. Are we going to... Where are we going?
I think we're moving to the office. We're moving to the office. SHMHQ.
Oh, yes. Very good. So we're moving down...
Yeah,
well, we can't say where, but we're going to Bar Oak, are we? We're staying in Bar Oak.
Michael and Eve are up here. We might have to move into Gorey, so it'll be a different...
Well, look at that, Paper Tuesdays. We don't actually know where we're bringing you next week's podcast. Maybe we'll do it on site in Clunager. We'll do it from a building site.
Yeah.
Anyway, but is there anything else? No, I think this has been lovely.
No, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
That's politics, baby.
That's politics, baby. That's politics gone wrong. See you next week. Hey Google, play the Star of County Down.
Sure. Star of County Down.
I turned my mic off before it ended, but sure enough. It's like in the, what's it called? At the end of the news, where they turn off.
Oh, the shuffle, yeah.
And Dob sending off the bottoms. Very good, your mic is still on, so. Bye!